Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are Group 4. Today, we will introduce our 2020 short-term business plan for 7-Eleven Japan, from company overview, SWOT analysis, STP model to our objective and strategies. Now let's first look at company profile. The current president of 7-Eleven Japan is Katsuki Furuya, and it was established in 1973. By 2017, we are holding more than 19,000 stores with more than 12,000 employees in Japan. And our mission is to make life a little easier for our guests by being where they need us and whenever they need us. We are also aiming to become a trustworthy and honest company. Even though we are ready to respond to any change, we are still strictly following 4 fundamental rules, which are friendly service, product assortment, freshness, and cleanliness.
This is the pastel analysis about environmental factors of 7-Eleven Japan. As political, it is now easier for foreign tourists to visit Japan or become Japanese permanent residents. As economical, Japan has Olympics and Paralympics in 2020. It is a good chance to boost the economy. However, Japanese tax rate will increase to 10%. As social, the number of Japanese single households is increasing. Also, the increase in number of foreign tourists. There were 90 million tourists in 2015 and 28 million foreign tourists in 2017. Next is as technological. There is current advancement in online retail. Next is environmental factors. Being eco-friendly is very important for the company. As legal, there are laws about selling and buying in the market.
Target markets. This 2 graph shows how frequently people in Japan are visiting 7-Eleven. The first graph shows how 60% of customers are visiting 7-Eleven more than twice a week. The second graph shows how not only the younger generation but also number of older generation has been growing rapidly. The industry of food market in Japan has been growing, and 7-Eleven is trying to provide better service and innovate new products for customers. As a current performance in 2017, 7-Eleven Japan holds the ranking 1 spot for total store sales, for holding 42.7% of the market share.
This is the marketing mix of 7-Eleven. So first, price. They have the premium pricing strategy where they sell their products at a slightly higher price compared to their competitors. As for the promotion, they use a fundamental approach of using signboards, flyers, and posters to attract customers. For the place, they use the dominant method, which means that they have high density, abundant stores throughout 46 prefectures in Japan. For their people, they employ both domestic and international employees and have a good connection between their franchisee and franchisors. As for process, they use the half-service process. As for physical evidence of their business, they have a compact store layout as well as their online websites and receipts. And for their products, they are currently selling various products and services such as food and beverages to magazines. This is the SWOT diagram for 7-Eleven. As for their strengths, they have an overall brand equity, private brands such as the 7-Eleven 7 Cafe, and the international markets with stores all over the world. As for their weakness, they have lack of stores in certain small cities throughout Japan. As for opportunities, there is an increasing number of foreign tourists coming to Japan. For the threats, their competitors are doing similar market developments. So this is the condensed SWOT analysis that is more related to our strategy. The first one is that 7-Eleven is a current leader in the convenience store market with over 42.7% market share. They have 19,000 stores throughout 46 prefectures in Japan. The increase of foreign tourists coming to Japan can help 7-Eleven expand their market share in the convenience store market. This is the number of foreign tourists according to Japan National Tourism Organization, with an increase of over 20 million tourists in 13 years. As for 2020, they predict that Japan will have 40 million foreign tourists coming. Also, there is a more relaxed rules of permanent residence in Japan. As for part-time workers, international students can be recruited to substitute the decreasing amount of Japanese young adults. Various cashless payment methods are also booming throughout the world. And also, competitors conducting market development can be seen as a threat of 7-Eleven.
In order to increase our target customer satisfaction based on behavioral segmentation, we implemented selective focus on most of the tourist needs, excluding accommodation and religion-restricted products. And here's our positioning. To foreign tourists of Japan who want a better travel experience, 7-Eleven Japan is a convenience store chain that provides multi-language services, easy payment methods, various travel-related products and services, and a traveler-friendly layout to support their tours with convenience. And here's our objective. We are aiming to increase market share from 42.7% to 50% in 2 years through building brand equity among foreign tourists by making use of the 2020 Tokyo Olympic Games. So we came up with 4 strategies, including improving language services and the current payment system, increase travel-related product and service offerings, and we will design a new layout.
So our first strategy is to improve the language services offered by 7-Eleven. First of all, we would like to add English, Chinese, and Korean into their price tags and also the receipts to make sure that customers know what products they are actually purchasing. We would also be creating a multi-language self-checkout counter with over 11 languages to choose from so that customers can conduct their payments and charge their IC cards with their preferred languages. We would also be employing more international students to substitute the decreasing number of the young Japanese population. International students have the ability to understand basic to advanced Japanese and serve international customers with different languages. 7-Eleven should collaborate with overseas 7-Eleven for potential international students working in Japan. We should also create employee manuals in simple Japanese and English and conduct monthly trainings to make sure that their international part-time workers know what job they are doing.
Next strategy is improving the current payment system. As we mentioned before, Lawson has already introduced Alipay into its financial payment system. WeChat Pay and Alipay have large amount of users in China. Also, Chinese tourists is the largest tourist group in Japan. So having more payment methods like Alipay, Google Wallet available in 7-Eleven is a good opportunity for us to attract more foreign tourists.
Our third strategy is to increase travel-related products and services offerings. By adding a customized stocking shelf for tourists, we will provide selfie sticks, Japanese power outlet adapters, and other travel necessities. And we will also collaborate with local travel agencies and Japanese snacks companies to provide entertainment tickets, travel guidebooks, pamphlets, and also popular Japanese snacks. What's more, currently we have 25 kinds of public transit smart card around Japan, and Suica card is being used by most of the foreign tourists of Japan. Therefore, we will increase our transit smart card related services. First, our self-checkout terminal that we just mentioned before will allow our customers to charge their IC cards outside of train stations by themselves. Second, we will also implement pull strategy to our promotion by using front store campaign. We will provide 2 types of transit smart cards charge coupons after we conclude contracts with local railway companies. Basically, if customers charge 490 or 980 in 7-Eleven, they will get 500 or 1,000 in their IC cards.
Our last strategy is to introduce a new layout. 7-Eleven has already released a new layout with the bigger checkout counters, but due to the lack of part-time workers, the checkout counters can be smaller, and we will introduce the self-checkout counter with the table and chairs for customers. The benefit for built-in tables and chairs, it is placed near refrigerators for quicker access to beverages, and it is easier for employees to monitor customers. Third, it is placed indoors to prevent discomfort due to the weather. And lastly, we will provide charging plugs on the table.
So this is our budgeting for the initial 500 stores that we are going to implement our strategies for. The first one is the built-in table for the layout renovation of the 500 stores of 7-Eleven. We are also going to buy self-checkout machines, develop language softwares, and new cashless payment methods, as well as conducting more trainings for international part-time workers, and an additional marketing fee for the coupons, which will total in around 71.5 million yen.
And here's the timeline in next 10 years. By 2020, our business plan will be implemented in 500 stores in top 10 tourist destination cities in Japan to reach 50% market share. And by 2028, our strategies will be implemented in top 15 tourist destination prefectures in Japan to reach 60% of the total market share. And thank you for listening. That's the end of our presentation. And welcome to 7-Eleven Japan!